Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing at Chicagoland for both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series here at this mile-and-a-half oval where we come through obviously into the Xfinity Series to start off the day. We had a subscriber as well as friend Andrew Wisdom in the car here for us in Chicago. Chicago, probably the worst mile-and-a-half track for us, I think, on the schedule, so I was a little bit concerned coming into this one, depending on how we could qualify. And unfortunately, we didn't qualify the best. Andrew down towards the mid-pack here, just behind Justin Allgaier, but right off the bat, getting aggressive, making it 3 wide as he went down towards turns 1. So early on, he was showing that he was not going to be afraid to make some aggressive moves as he's already ahead of the 7 of Allgaier, who he started behind, as well as he gets ahead of the 00 there of Cole Custer. And then again, he would get aggressive going down into turns 3, making it 3 wide again with the 15 and the 36 there, as you see quite a bit of 3 wide racing through the center of turns 3 and up to turns 4 now as Andrew moves his way forwards here on that bottom lane. But it was a bit of a struggle to move his way forwards as he kind of trickled up inside towards actually a top 10 position, so he was looking pretty decent at this point here in the very, very early stages of this race as he was under a little bit of pressure there from the 23 of John Hunter and Nemechek, as it was a 2 though of Tyler Reddick leading the win. As the run went on though, he started to fade a little bit. Cole Custer was able to put the attack on him and he had a whole pack of cars right behind him now as they went down into turns 3. So the 00 of Custer goes by, the 7 of Allgaier goes by, and just being on the outside lane was a massive disadvantage. We were finding out really quick here in Chicago now as he came through this front straightaway, and he would fall down quite a bit now as he came through to the final lap though of this race here in Chicago, trying to run down Jeremy Clements as he went down towards turns 3, as well as trying to hold off the 9 of Noah Gragson as he came through the center of turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. Andrew Wisdom out of turns 4 wasn't the best run like we expected here in Chicagoland. He comes through though to cross the line to still have a somewhat decent finish here at the mile-and-a-half here in Chicago. So definitely can't be concerned or can't be too disappointed with P10. We're used to running a little bit better here on the mile-and-a-half, but hopefully we can improve going into the next one as you see the finishing order on your screen. But now it's time to move into myself here in the Cup Series here at Chicago. Another track where I struggle at in the mile-and-a-halves as well for myself here in the Cup Series, but we're hoping to have a solid run here today at Chicago. It's come to out of turns 2, heading down this back straightaway on our qualifying attempt. Usually we don't qualify very well here, so I'm not expecting anything crazy as we go down into turns 3 for the final time now as we exit turns 4, heading down this front stretch. It certainly was a decent lap as we come through, cutting down on that apron, crossing the line a couple tenths of a second off of our goal, and we go P18 here in Chicago. So definitely some room for improvement, but I think we've got a much better race pace, so I'm confident for the race. And on pole, we got Joey Logano with Denny Hamlin joining him on the front row.
Welcome to Chicagoland Speedway for the Camping World 400. This mile-and-a-half D-shaped tri-oval is going to be a formidable challenge. Will we see a close finish today, or will someone breeze to victory here in the Windy City? Let's send it down to the track and find out.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the Camping World 400 at Chicagoland Speedway. Joey Logano on pole, ready to lead the field to the green flag. As you see, Ty Dillon and Corey LaJoie both start at the back of the field. Dillon failed pre-race inspection. LaJoie crashed his car, so he's starting in a backup car as we get ready to go green here from P18 alongside the 37 of Chris Buescher. Elliott and Boyer on the row in front of us now as the green flag is out. Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin lead the way to the green flag. Denny Hamlin been so dominant this season. Can he get win number 7 already on the season here today in Chicagoland? We're going to find out pretty soon now as we go down towards turns 1. The 95 of Matt DiBenedetto just behind myself with the 43 of Bubba Wallace on his inside. Getting to my left-hand side actually as we exit turns 2, as there was a little bit of a checkup right in front of me there from the 14 of Clint Boyer as we go down this back straightaway for the first time here in this episode. As we go down though through turns 3, we're going to get right down on that door of Bubba Wallace, and we actually pinch him down pretty well. And as we exit turn 4, we're going to have the momentum to clear the RPM driver of Bubba Wallace there to come through to complete the first and opening lap here at Chicagoland Speedway. Running P19, so we did lose 1 position on this opening lap. But Denny Hamlin takes the lead away very early on from Joey Logano as they went down this back straightaway. Now as we're going to get aggressive here and make it 3 wide with the 21 and the 14, the 2 Ford drivers now as we go down into turn 3. We're going to be able to get past the 21 of Menard as well as the 14 of Boyer. We would also pass the 37 of Chris Buescher. We then would run down this next group of cars that had Almirola, Blaney, Logano, who started on pole, all the way down to P13 here, as we would get up to now P14, and then we actually get a little bit loose on the exit turns 4, made a little bit of contact there with the 22, and I lost my momentum trying to cover the 12 of Blaney. He was not successful with that, so he would get to my outside as I went down into turns 1, but Joey Logano already falling down to P13 after just a handful of laps after starting P1, so we would look to the inside of him nearly as I went down the back straightaway. I actually got into his back bumper, so he's probably not going to be happy with us as we made contact with him a couple times already, but then the caution comes out for the first time here today in Chicago, so no one would come to the pit lane, though we would get ready to go right back into the action. Denny Hamlin will lead the way back to the green flag now as we are once again underway here at Chicago, almost at the midway point of this first stage here from P14, 11 laps to go here in the first stage. Ryan Blaney just behind us now, as Blaney has been a lot stronger this season in our career mode, and if he plays his cards right, he should be able to get in the playoffs on points here even, and not really have to worry about winning, because that's been one of his weak points in this whole NASCAR Heat 4 career mode. He just can't ever quite seem to get to victory lane there, as you see Martin Truex Jr. all the way up on that top lane now as we come through out of turns 4 heading down this front stretch. Joey Logano trying to get to the inside of the Hendrick Motorsports driver of Chase Elliott now, as I don't really care for being on the outside, but the outside definitely seems to work better the longer the run goes, but obviously right now just wanting to be on the bottom as we're going to get aggressive there, going 3 wide with the 22 in the 9 as we go down this back straightaway now. Certainly been racing around Joey Logano quite a bit here in the recent laps, and we'll get past him, run down Kevin Harvick, and actually get to the outside of him and be able to make a pass on the Stewart Haas Racing driver. So we would get up to P11, and then we would close in on the next group of cars, which Jimmy Johnson had faded down to P10 here, and then I would get to the outside of him, and we would come through now to try and make a pass on the 7-time champion, but out of turns 4, Landon Castle goes spinning into the outside wall, and that's going to bring out a caution here in Chicago. Kyle Busch currently leading the way, as this would set us up for a very late race restart. Or a very late stage restart, as we would pit for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. Everybody did the same thing. We gained a spot on the pit lane, so we will restart P9 here with 2 laps to decide the results in stage 1. Kyle Busch out front there with his teammates of Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. joining him up there, as well as we look to the inside of the 88 of Alex Bowman, just trying to not touch the apron like that right there. As we come through the center of the corner, we push up the track, but thankfully no incidents ensue from that little moment there, as Bowman's going to get ahead of the 31 of Tyler Reddick as we go down towards turns 3, approaching the final lap of this first stage. Kyle Busch, though, the leader, goes all the way to the top, and now Martin Truex Jr. is going to inherit the lead as we exit turns 4, and it's going to be 3 wide in front of us between Priest, Hamlin, and Kyle Busch there as we go down towards turns 1 on this final lap. In stage 1 now, as Busch is trying to fight back for the stage victory against his teammate of Martin Truex Jr., the 2017 Cup Series champion. As we exit turns 2, though, we're going to try to get that draft from the 88 of Alex Bowman, as well as we try to defend the drivers behind of Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski, and even our rival, of Daniel Suarez, as we come through turns 3 and out of turns 4 for the final time here in stage 1, and it looks like we will hang on to the position as Truex wins stage 1 side by side with the 48 at the line, but we get P9, so 2 points for us in stage 1. Jimmy Johnson gets a point as well, so a very solid stage effort for us considering where we started, and I think we still have even more speed in the car. But once again, everybody would come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires. The pit crew would get us an extra position there as we move up into P8 here behind the 11 and the 1 of Hamlin and Kurt Busch now, as the green flag is back out. Stage 2 is officially underway here at Chicago. Kyle Busch will lead the way down towards turns 1. Alex Bowman on my left door already, as we didn't have the greatest launch there on the restart. Jimmy Johnson just behind myself. Martin Truex Jr., though, he leads this outside to the green as we go down this back straightaway already here on this first lap of stage 2. Keselowski now up my inside as we go down into turns 3. So hoping that we can move our way forwards and as well as get down to the bottom lane, but we're actually going to get taken 3 wide by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. So we go even higher as we exit turns 4. And now Daniel Suarez, I should mention, our rival, has gotten right to my back bumper, as you can see. Now in the rear view mirror now, running P14 as we go down into turns 1. Suarez is going to get into our left rear and is going to give us the bumper as we go up the hill through turns 1 and 2. 2, trying to stay out of the wall, but we do get into the wall now as we exit the corner and actually get into it again now and damage the right side of the car pretty significantly as we drop outside of the top 20 after just a little bit of contact with our rival of Daniel Suarez. Now as we would fight back here up to P22 on lap 6 as we get into the back of Logano, as all of a sudden the 9 of Chase Elliott is blowing up into turns 3. That will be the end of his race very likely as we come through now out of turns 4, and then you see in the background a car goes spinning and then up and over he goes and lands on 4 wheels. That was the 38 of David Reagan. The caution comes out, obviously. No one would come to the pit lane, so we would get back going here in stage 2, about the midway point of the second stage. But the 38 of David Reagan went spinning after that whole mess right there, and up and over he went with help from, I think it was the 37 of Chris Buescher, who slammed into him now as we go down into turns 1 on this restart. Kyle Busch, though, still out front as we come through the center of the corner. We're going to get aggressive here, make it 3 wide there on the inside of the 8 of Daniel Hemrick and the 13 of Ty Dillon. Still a little bit tough to not call the 8 Tyler Reddick instead. We got to keep in mind now that is indeed Daniel Hemrick as we come through turns 3 and out of turns 4. We're going to be 3 wide there with the 8 and the 4 of Hemrick and Harvick now as we come through to complete that lap. Now P7, or 7 laps to go, sorry, P16 as we look to the inside of Eric Almirola for P15 as we would get ahead of him, and we just started moving our way back forwards. We climbed up to P13 past the 24 of William Byron. We passed Ryan Blaney. We got to the inside of the 47. We would get past him, and then we would get to the 17 here of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And with 2 laps to go on stage 2, we had fought into the inside of him and made the pass. And then we would run down 7-time champ of Jimmy Johnson here, approaching the final lap of the second stage as we went down towards turns 1. And I wanted to maybe try and help out Jimmy Johnson. He is in the playoffs on points right now, but he's certainly not safe. So we come through side by side, actually, down this back straightaway on the final lap of the stage, but actually pull out of the throttle and actually decide we're going to let Jimmy Johnson hold on to P10 because he is in a position where he will need every single point he can get now. Same as Daniel Suarez, both of them need every point possible as we come through down this front straightaway for the final time in stage 2 at the line. It's going to be Johnson getting P10 as we come through to get P11, and I think it was indeed Kyle Busch who got the stage 2 victory, and sure enough, it was Kurt Busch P2, and Suarez actually running into the side of me under caution, so you know he's a rival, but we would pit for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. No positions gained for us there on that pit stop. We're going to be starting right behind our rival of Daniel Suarez, who gave us a bumper earlier and caused us to get into the wall at the very beginning of stage 2, but now the third and final stage is underway here at Chicagoland. 25 laps to go, so we've got certainly plenty of time here to move our way back forwards. We've been climbing our way back forwards ever since we got put in the wall by the 41 of Suarez. I feel like we've got some pretty significant speed here, but we still don't quite know what we've got against the front runners right now, against like Kyle Busch, maybe Mark Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin as we go down towards turns 3. Elliott now in that pit lane. You can see with the 2 dots there on your screen, and that's not good for him, but he did get a win very recently, obviously, at Sonoma, so he is locked in the playoffs, but he is out of this race here in Chicagoland after blowing that engine in stage 2 as Jimmy Johnson is just in front of myself as we go down into turns 1. Unfortunately, did not want to lose that position to the 48 because we know we're faster than Jimmy Johnson right now in this race, and as we go down this back straightaway, we have such a run. We're going to look to the inside of the 48 as we go down towards turns 3, and still keeping in mind the situation the 48 has been given right now as we come through out of turns 4. He's right on our door, and I decide, you know what, right now I'm not going to battle the 48. We're going to get behind him and actually let us hopefully drive away from this group of cars right behind us. So we come through now on lap 46. Johnson actually gets past the 41 of Daniel Suarez. Kyle Busch still out front at this point, but then the caution comes out with 22 or 21 now laps to go. Kyle Busch was the reason for the caution. It looked like he blew a tire or something, but either way, he is still in the race, but now at the back of the field. So a big shakeup here. All of a sudden, Kyle Busch, the fastest driver, it seems like today, is now at the very back of the field, and he's going to have to fight his way back forwards with now, 18 laps to go? Definitely not enough time for the 18 to get back up front without some type of help or luck. Now has come through turns 1 and 2, right behind that 48 of Johnson, who's now in a pretty solid position as we go down this back straightaway. Our rival of Suarez is going to make it 3 wide with myself and Eric Jones, so we're going to have to be really careful there through turn 3, making sure Suarez doesn't get into us, and he actually just drives right on by me. I didn't have anything for him there through the center of the corner. Jones and Bowman side by side as well in front of us there, as Kurt Busch, our teammate, is just up ahead. As now we're going to fight to the outside of our rival of Suarez, trying to get past him as we go down towards turns 1. I do not want to look to the inside of Daniel Suarez because we know he's just going to crowd us down on the apron, but I go a little bit too high, and now we leave the door open for everybody to get to my inside. Priest goes by, the 2 goes by, the 47, 17, the 12, everybody was getting past me. Next thing you know, we're outside of the top 10. Byron gets past for a brief moment, but I actually would be able to fight back and get back past the 24 of William Byron, and we once again though would rally our way back forwards. We climb up to P12 on lap 54. We look to the inside of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Denny Hamlin at this point though out front leading the way as we came through though on lap 55. Now running back down to our rival of Suarez. There's 47 as well as Ryan Priest as we go down towards turns 1, trying to get past our rival of Suarez. That's really the big one now. If we can get past the 41, we'll be in good shape there as we nearly get into the back of them, as we're going to be side by side down at the back straightaway with our rival of Suarez, but we're going to thread the needle between him and the 47, barely clear of Suarez, and we hop on the opportunity, and now we're as well going to slide up in front of the 47 of Priest and take over P9. Next, we would run down the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, get past him for P8 without a single battle at all. We just blew right on past him. We get to Keselowski here down the front straightaway on lap 57, approaching lap 58, cut down to the apron, and then once again we make another pass as we're climbing through the field here in these late laps. Kurt Busch actually ran down Denny Hamlin and took the lead from him now as we come through out of turns 2, getting past the 2 of Brad Keselowski. We now set our sights on the 20 of Eric Jones as we go down towards turn 3 with help from that draft. We're going to look to the inside of him, and now we're going to take the position away from him, and next thing you know, we're up to P6 as we came through out of turns 4. Now as we came through heading down towards turns 1 though on lap 59, the caution comes out with 9 laps to go. Everybody here coming to the pit lane. No tires are going to be necessary, so we're just coming in for fuel only. Half a can of fuel, no tires, no repairs, and Kyle Busch stays out here, and now he will be back in front, and he might have the speed to win this race as a green flag is back out. So Busch Bros on the front row here as we get back underway. Less than 10 laps to go, with 6 to be exact here, as you see Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, your top 5 as we go down into this first corner. Eric Jones gets to my inside. Behind us we got the 47 of Priest, the 41 of Suarez, and the 48 of Jimmy Johnson here, as we got to get to that inside lane as quickly as possible. Now we're going to be side by side though on the outside with Jones as we go down into turn 3, trying to get right on his right rears. We're actually going to still be side by side on the exit of turns 4. We might have the momentum to carry us past the JGR drivers who come through to cross the line. Now 5 laps to go, not a lot of time at all, and Kyle Busch is driving away from the field now as it's going to be Bowman and Kurt Busch side by side as we need to get moving as quickly as possible. Kyle Busch is already out to a pretty substantial margin as we're going to make it 3 wide here with Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. as we go down towards turn 3, knowing we need to make these passes as quickly as possible. And sure enough, though, we would be able to pull off that and get up to P4, and then heading down towards turns 1, I cut down to the apron and get to the inside of the 88 of Alex Bowman, and if we can clear him quickly, we might have a chance at P2, but he's going to fight back on the outside as I couldn't quite get the car glued down to the bottom like I had hoped I would. Now as we go down this back straightaway, still side by side with the 88 of Bowman, but down into turns 3, we are going to be able to complete the pass and set our sights on Denny Hamlin. We come to just 2 laps to go here in Chicago, and I kind of used the tactic that I used at Pocono. I decided we're going to actually push Denny Hamlin and see if we can maybe run down Kyle Busch before this race is over, but only a lap and a half to go. Doesn't look like we're going to quite have the time. 0.6 of a second behind the 18 of Kyle Busch right now as we go down into turns 3. And if Kyle Busch holds on to this victory, it will be his first win since the Daytona 500 at the beginning of the season, and that win tied him with Dale Earnhardt. This win right here as he starts the final lap would put him ahead now of Dale Earnhardt's 76 career wins. We go down into turns 1, but still got to make it through 3 more turns as we come through out of turns 2 down the back straightaway. Now Kyle Busch leads the way, but Hamlin and myself close in a little bit, but now I know we're not going to run down that 18 in time, so I look to the inside of Denny Hamlin as we go down into turns 3 for the final time here at Chicagoland Speedway. We drift up the track a little bit. It's going to be very close between myself and Hamlin side by side as we exit turns 4. Kyle Busch will come through to get win number 77 and pass Dale Earnhardt as Hamlin gets us at the line there for P2 as we finish in P3, but it's Ganassi, both Ganassi cars inside the top 5 as Kurt Busch did get a 4th place finish for us. So very solid effort today by the team. A lot more speed than I thought we would have. We definitely, if things went right there, we could have had a chance at victory. But after the race, Joey Logano Not happy at all. We do apologize to him, so he is extremely close right now, though, to being a rival. So we got to be very, very careful with the 22 of Joey Logano in these next few races. And as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. And in the next one, we go back to the Truck Series here at Iowa. I think it's like Daytona or something like that for its Cup Series, as well as Xfinity. And yes, it is there, as you see the playoff grids on your screen. In the Cup Series, we're now P4. William Byron, 14 points out. Boyer, Suarez, Johnson there towards the bottom, as well as Ryan Blaney. So that will do it, though, for this episode. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one for Daytona. Have a great day, everybody.